Okay, everybody, good afternoon. This is Stephen Tozer from Boaz Studios. And Stephen, so glad to have you here. And please tell me about you, yourself, and your business, and how long you've been doing it for in your own words.
Okay, so yeah, I'm Stephen Tozer. I founded Bow Studio in late 2018 after graduating from Falmouth University. So I got a first class degree in interior design, and then sort of following that, I wanted to base myself in Cornwall, being from Cornwall and living here. And so yeah, I set up Bow Studio coming out of university, got a few nice little projects to start me off. One being at the university itself, which was really exciting. And then I've gone on to set up a little studio in Truro city centre in Prince's House. And from there, we've kind of grown from having a few commercial projects to a lot more residential and stuff as well. So we sort of work across both arenas. And April last year, I took on Alice Nightingale, who was a fellow graduate on the degree course we were on as well. So yeah, slowly growing and slowly getting there.
That's good. That's good. I like to hear the slow growth, the steady growth. And yeah, and so I mean, how was that? I guess working between commercial and residential. Who's been like your most profitable customers, like regards to being commercial projects or residential?
I guess we're finding that residential is probably, for us, it seems to be a much clearer vision that people have, and in terms of the outset, there's lots that comes up in commercial projects, and I guess as a new business, you learn with each one that you go through. But maybe we've kind of got it wrong in terms of our fee proposals. So we've ended up taking a bit of a hit where maybe we put in a lot of bespoke furniture and that kind of thing. And actually in terms of our initial fee proposal, we'd not included quite as much for furniture design. And it's really fun for us to do, but it's maybe we didn't charge correctly in first but yeah, it's a learning curve.
Yeah, absolutely. There. Can I ask you a question? What makes it fun for you?
Oh, I mean, so I went back to university when I was 40, primarily because I think I was working in a marketing role before. It was a lot of traveling, and it wasn't fun. So I went back to university because I was like, I can't do this until I retire. I want to do something that I enjoy, something that's creative, and something that every day is different. And so that's what it is for me. Like, I'm really lucky that all the projects we're getting are all very different to each other. It's not like you can pick up one scheme that you designed for somebody and put it somewhere else. Everything is really different. So I really like the variety, and that to me is what is fun.
Wow. So you just write on that variety and everything that's different, and it's making it, I guess, very bespoke and very tailor-made. Everything is different there. So each project makes it more enjoyable for you there as well. I take it. And yeah, that's great. That's great. And I was gonna say with that there, what would you say has, I guess, in your journey as a business owner, what has been your biggest challenge that you have to overcome?
I guess, I mean, one of the big things for us is we're trying to be as sustainable as possible, as environmentally focused. And I think a lot of what we do is we're having to research anything we specify in a lot more detail. Maybe, so we wouldn't just, so when I'm talking about bespoke furniture, we wouldn't specify like it to be made from MDF. We'd look at what is the best kind of thing for the planet that we could use to make that furniture from. Is it from sustainable sources? Where is it going to end up? So that's kind of key for us. So that is a big challenge, but in a good way, and it feels like we're doing, it's for the greater good kind of thing. So yeah, As part of that, we were going for B Corp accreditation. So we submitted that in April this year. And so hopefully we'll go through sort of verification process for that soon as well. But everything we do is kind of just trying to align to those goals.
Those goals there, right? And I mean, that's not terminology you hear every day about B Corp corporation. Can you explain that or emphasize or even elaborate a bit more on that?
Okay, so there's sort of three main pillars, which are people, planet, and profit. So one is it's all about the people that you within your company, and also those that you're working for in terms of the people aspect. So just making sure that everyone is paid fairly, both within your company, but also from those you're sourcing from. So we have a lot of questions that we ask of our suppliers in that respect. And profit is kind of about, what you do with your profit and, donating that back into the local community is a kind of a big thing. So that's where we would look at using local suppliers, local materials. And I think through that as well, it engages the local community and they're more invested in the spaces that we are creating.
Okay.
And then planet, I guess, is obviously the big one, is that, everything that we're doing is to, better the planet and make sure that what we're doing isn't what like fast fashion would be doing. And that everything we put into a space is from sustainable sources, but also that once we finish with it and once, maybe our clients want to change it, that we know it's not going to have a long-lasting damaging effect on the planet.
Right, great. I actually just take my hats off to you there because, I think right now, and especially in this day and age, it's all about the planet and how can we preserve it as much as we can. And I think your finger's right there on that button there, which is great. I really appreciate you on that there. And I guess in your journey as a business leader, what would you say has been your biggest learning so far?
Well, I mean, it's hard to put it like I'd say we learn with every single project. Kind of like I said before, is that actually our sort of quoting, our fee proposals, I think that's been a big learning, just how we structure what we charge. And just making sure that we get that right. So accounting for all our time when we're putting in that initial fee proposal. I mean, we now break it down into two fee proposals. So we charge initially for kind of our concept design. And then once we know that concept is signed off and what we're going to need to deliver, we'll then put another fee proposal based on that. Whereas from when we first started, we would literally put in one fee proposal that would take the client right through to the end of that journey with us. And that's where we would come unstuck a bit, is that, okay, well, we're doing this now and we've not allowed for that, and we're doing this now and we've not allowed for that. So I'd say our terms and conditions are evolving with this as well, as does our fee proposal. So that's kind of a big learning for me.
I see. So I can see now it was from one stage to like a two-stage process then, basically.
Yeah, I mean, we've broken it down into six stages that we work with our clients. So now we would literally do a fee proposal for the first two stages, and then a second fee proposal for the final four stages. Once it's more clearer what they want from us and how much they want for us on that journey with them.
Yeah, that's great. And it's all about that clarity. Once you have that clarity, it just brings that confidence as well, doesn't it? That's great. And let me ask you this question. I mean, what have you found out about yourself personally as a business owner in this journey?
I guess initially when I was working by myself, my big discovery was I didn't like working by myself. So it was one reason to take the studio in Truro. So I'm now in this great building full of other small businesses. So where we all get to work together and we get to have those conversations about, Bake Off the night before.
Oh, of course.
Whatever it might be.
Come on, we won't talk about that.
but when I was at home in the spare bedroom, head down, I wasn't having that interaction, and I really missed that. So
Yeah.
there was that, and then another reason for me to take on Alice, because it was great to just have somebody to bounce ideas off as well. So working in a creative role, it really helps your ideas evolve when there's more than one of you. Otherwise you can be a bit blinkered as to your own design on what you want to end up with. So yeah. Oh,
you okay?
So
okay, well, that's great. And what I was gonna say to yourself is that, you know, if an 18-year-old wants to go into their own business, okay, what advice would you give them?
I mean, so this is something I've not done, which is so
Not yet.
I went straight from university. I worked for sort of major companies. So prior to going back to university, I'd worked for Cadbury's for 10 years, Warner Brothers for 5 years, and Ginsters for 4 years back in Cornwall. So I'd worked for these massive companies. I'd never worked for an interior design studio. So I went from then university, where we didn't really learn anything about running a business, to running my own business. So I had no experience from a small business perspective or running your own business. So I would say go and work somewhere at 18. Go and work somewhere where you see maybe how your business you'd want it to run, and learn from that business through that experience. So I would say don't go it alone at 18. Go away, learn from other people, see what they're doing, good and bad, and take that on board. And then when you go to set up on your own, you've got this breadth of knowledge of how you want to run your own business.
Actually, that's great. It's more like that, earn and also learn as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. And also say, well, I mean, I would say, Steve, what's inspiring you today?
I think, well, there's loads that inspires, I mean, especially in Cornwall. I think we're so lucky to have so many great different trades and crafts people around us. So I find that inspiring. I also find it inspiring all the different materials and things that are coming through that we're able to use now, which I think 10, 50, actually maybe even 5 years ago, there wouldn't have been as much stuff that we could have used as a sustainable interior design studio around as there is now. And I think a lot more people are on board with that as well. So that's great. And also just for our clients, like we've not had any brief the same as another. And so that's really inspiring, that actually everyone is very unique. And I think for us as designers, that's brilliant, because you don't want to receive the same brief over and over again. We're really lucky that everything we do aesthetically looks very different to the previous projects. So that's great.
Perfect. Well, I would say, Stephen, thank you so much. This concludes the interview.